All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How is it going? I'm Is There No One Else, and I am bringing a gear set review for the new Blackwood DLC. We are going to go over the new Deadlands assassin set. Now, there are quite a few sets that have come out this patch, just like any other. I like to go through the ones that pertain to PvP, so if that's your sort of thing, if you want to see what I think about these sets before you go out and invest in them yourself, feel free to subscribe to the channel. I'm going to probably do a couple more this patch. I try to do a few every patch, but yeah. This one's going to be covering Deadlands Assassin, so let's dive into it. Deadlands Assassin is an overland set that you can get in the new DLC area. It is medium armor, and the set is as follows. 129 weapon damage, 129 weapon damage, max stamina, and then the 5-piece has 200 weapon damage. So already a ton of weapon damage on a 5-piece set. As you guys know, proc sets do scale with your weapon or spell damage, whichever is higher. So having a set that does give you a ton of weapon and spell damage if you want to use procs is quite nice. So just this set by itself, running 460 weapon damage before anything else, plus being a proc, is quite valuable if you're going to try and run procs. So yeah, plus, I mean, it's pretty, this is solid damage before the proc, which is always nice. Like some of my biggest issues with running, if I'm going to run a proc, some of the procs that aren't so good don't give you damage outside of the proc condition. This one does, and so that boosts your healing and a bunch of other things. And yeah, it's better. 5-piece. Dealing damage to an enemy within 10 meters of you with a heavy attack causes you to throw a cone of knives, dealing 3965 physical damage to enemies hit. If an enemy hit has 50% health or less, they also take 8722 bleed damage over 13 seconds. This effect can occur once every 15 seconds and scales off the higher of your weapon or spell damage. Now, the numbers look low, but keep in mind, in Blackwood, the higher our weapon damage goes, the more this proc is going to be. I am not buffed with Rally, so if you see I have 3965 physical damage, when I buff with Rally, we jump up to 4668. So I also have Powerful Salt on the back bar, buff with Rally again, just to make sure we have it. We jump up to 5,000. Fully buffed with everything, I want to say this is around a 6,000 proc. Well, I think I had a 6,000 proc when it was Nern. But I'm also running this Vatishran's Perfected Maul. This also gives us weapon damage, and so this is going to scale up. We'll have about a 6k proc fully buffed with Deadlands Assassin. So when you look at it, you're just like, okay, 6k physical damage, that's not a ton. Every 15 seconds, that's not a lot. Well, it's a cone of knives, and so a cone is AoE. They should be undodgeable. And when you think about how it coincides with other parts of your burst, it's free damage every 15 seconds. And so you look at like the Vatishran's 2H. Vatishran's 2H is the same thing. Your heavy attack releases this, and it does, typically the tooltip is going to be 8-9k physical damage. And so it does it in an area. It's also AoE. You can now stack this tooltip damage with this tooltip damage, and so you're going to have 15k-ish tooltip damage, halved in PvP and after resistances. Like Frenzied Momentum in Markarth was hitting anywhere from like 3 to 5k. This hits about half as much. So yeah, it's going to hit it for around 2k, 2,500. So you're talking about 2,500 isn't nothing, is what I'm trying to say. Because it coincides with your heavy attack, it coincides with your enchant, it coincides with your Frenzied Momentum, your Vatishran's 2H, and this all kind of stacked to provide a lot of upfront burst. You throw this all in a Nightblade with a heavy attack, in-cap, Spectral Bow, you're going to be getting somebody below 50% health quite often when you go in for your burst combination. And then when you do that, you get this really nice dot, which, let's buff up and look at it once again. Deals 11,000 bleed damage over 13 seconds. I think with Battle Org and Frenzy Momentum, it jumps up to like 13, 14k. So if you want to look at my character sheet, I have 5,309 weapon damage right now. I am running a maul instead of a greatsword, so I can go higher that way. I'm not sure what's better, the pen or the weapon damage for the higher proc. Infused weapon damage, everything. I would switch out Divines for Impen. That's the only big difference. But yeah, this is more or less the type of setup I would run. This is the recovery that I would run on a Nightblade. And so we can kind of see what we're going to get. And so when I buff up with my powerful assault, you see I jump up to 5717. With the Vatishran's 2H, I'm going to jump over 6k. With Balorg fully procced, I'm going to jump up to like 6500 or so. So yeah, done talking about it. The condition isn't bad. Like, I think a lot of people are going to look at this set and they're going to say, oh, that's not a ton, but it's AoE and it procs with how you're going to land it. And so I want to show you guys what it is. So when you land fully charged heavy attack, you're going to see this spray of knives. Did you see it go in like a cone from the left to right? That's what it looks like. Now we have to wait 15 seconds to do it again. It's not just a fully charged heavy attack. Just like the Vatishran's 2H, it can be a medium weave. Oh, did I not wait the allotted time? There it goes. So you see that proc there? It can be a medium weave, just like the Vatishran's 2H. So once again, I'm not saying it's OP because I need to do a lot more testing, but the stacking of sets is what always becomes problematic. We just had the VMA 2H and Unleashed Terror nerfed because they procced off the same condition, and they were nerfed by a lot. And now they're coming out with another set that procs with this. And so if you look at this here, we're just going to buff up. We're going to get our 5 stacks real quick of our Frenzy Momentum. There we go. So we have our Frenzy Momentum. We do this. We do our full heavy attack, in-cap spec bow, and that's going to be our full combination. And so if we back up and we look at our combat metrics for this, I'm not sure exactly how much it's hitting for, but I want to say this set hits for about half as much as Vatishran's. So it's not a ton, but it's AoE cone in front of you. And then on top of that, you get the bleed dot, which, as you guys know, is a Nightblade. Once they get below, like your in-cap should drop somebody below 50% health. So if we go and look at this, Frenzy Momentum hit for 8656, Deadlands Assassin hit for 5177. So a little bit more than half. Hit for a little bit more than half. Like I said, I hit anywhere from like 3 to 5k frenzied momentums. So yeah, Deadlands Assassin's going to hit for 1.5 to 3k. So consider it a buff. Like, I would just look at it as a buff to your overall burst combination. You have an enchant level buff on top of it, and those 2 to 3k amounts come in handy. Like, they really do. And when you consider that you get that dot afterwards, think about what people have to do when they get to lower health, right? They have to heal. They have to block and they have to heal. Well, a dot goes through block, and if they're like a Templar or something, they're not necessarily going to purge right away, because if they don't heal, they're going to die. And so I could see this being useful on a few different classes. I definitely see it being useful on Stam Nightblade, because why wouldn't it be? It's easy to stack weapon damage. Procs are going to be very, very good on Stamina Nightblade once again, because they can just scale weapon damage quite nicely. But any other build where you're going to utilize a Vatishran's 2H, I would consider using this set. And the reason that is the weapon damage. Like, the weapon damage is so nice. So it's going to buff your rally, it's going to buff your vigor, it's going to buff whatever stamina based heal you have. And right now I got powerful salt on the back bar because I didn't want to go craft Clever Alchemist, but I run Clever Alchemist. And so instead of having 429 weapon damage, I personally would have like 700 plus weapon damage here. So this isn't even doing as much damage as my current build would. And so what do I think? Well, I think you guys kind of got the hint of this entire video. I think the set's kind of good. I had to do some more testing with it. I think it coincides very well with the burst combination already. It works well with an already very popular set, which is the Vatishran's 2H, which was already used by a bunch of people, which is going to come back next patch. It gives you weapon damage, which is, if you're going to run the Vatishran's 2H, you want a set that gives you weapon damage. Ta-da! It gives you weapon damage. So sorry about that. Yeah, it gives you a little bit of everything. And that's kind of the name of the game. So I'm going to test some other things, of course, come to some comparisons. I don't want to say this is best in slot, but I don't see how this is bad. Like, I'm not seeing how this is bad, but Maybe I'm missing something. You let me know what you guys think. Please comment in the section below. Let me know what you think of this video. Let me know what you want me to review. If I think it pertains to PvP or if I think it's interesting enough, I'll run a gear set review on it. But yeah, I'll just keep going through these as we get closer and closer to the new patch. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a nice day.